killed in action in Vietnam. One of the things he left me was a weapon. That was very important to him. One of the reasons why he went and fought and died. And I know many of you are veterans here. I'd like to get a round of applause for all of our veterans. Thank you for your service to the country. Now, I talk to billions of people across the country every day, and I get a chance to talk to a lot of great celebrities. And I thought before we got started, on Monday I talked to a celebrity who would like to give a message to you. Ladies and gentlemen, my good friend, our Uncle Ted Nugent.
Do you want to say a little message to the crowd and record this and put it on the crowd? What would you like to say to the people of the Day of Resistance rallies?
Well, the Day of Resistance should be the battle cry in our American families' lives every day of the year. We need to tell the elected officials and the president, you work for us. We the people are the boss. The Constitution and the Bill of Rights is your work order. You are to adhere to it or we will fire you. Don't try me a love song. Don't make me sing it in your face.
Ted Nugent! And yes, he's as cool as you'd hope he'd be. Dr. Lance Hurley is here. He is a graduate of the University of Texas, where he majored in history and minored in speech and drama. He served our country as a captain in the United States Marine Corps. Or, as our president would say, the Marine Corps. The jokes keep coming. He's an ordained minister. He has a doctorate from Phoenix University of Theology. He portrays both George Washington, whose birthday was yesterday, and Patrick Henry. He has spoken before the Arizona House and Senate, 3 state capitals on National Day of Prayer, Constitution Party National Conventions, John Birch Society's 50th Anniversary Convention, and at tea parties, schools, and churches all over America. Freedom Foundations at Valley Forge has awarded him the George Washington Medal of Honor. Please welcome the voice of the American Revolution, co-author of the Bill of Rights, Commander-in-Chief of the Virginia Militia, 6th-term Governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia. Please welcome Patrick Henry.
Before we go to Carpenter's Hall, the first Continental Congress was held, I was the first delegate to speak. There's a plaque out front and it says this: from this moment forward, we are no longer New Yorkers, Delawareans, Rhode Islanders, North Carolinians. I am no longer a Virginian. I am an American. On March 23rd, 1775, I made a speech before the Virginia House of Burgesses in which I made a motion for the armament of a militia. I'm more famous for my famous Give Me Liberty, Give Me Death speech, but I don't have time to do that today. Instead, I'm going to focus on why we're all here, the Second Amendment. I hope to share with you the untold story of how you even got your Bill of Rights. When the Constitution came to Virginia, I, and together with George Mason and Richard Henry Lee, we were petrified of the Constitution. We were concerned about it. And at one point, I spoke 5.5 hours without stopping. And I can do that today. But I don't have that much time. I've condensed it. And you tell me if anything that I said back then has any merit on what's happening in your country today.
Yes. Yes.
Who authorized this new government to say we the people instead of we the states? That government is no more than a choice between evils has been a long-standing maxim. This Constitution is said to have beautiful features, but when I look at them, sir, I am frightened. It squints towards a monarchy, and does not this raise indignation in some of your breasts? Your president may easily become king. If he be a man of ambition, how easy it is for him to render himself absolute. He may seize his first auspicious moment to accomplish his hidden design. The army will salute him as a monarch. Your militia will leave you and make him a king. And what force do you have to oppose him? If he ever violates the law, what Chief Justice will ever punish him? So away with your president. You shall have a king. Your Senate Since when did the rule of minority overcome the rule of a majority? And this horrid form of government will continue. And this Senate can do treaties injurious to your health and not be held accountable. But then we are told we should not fear because those whom we elect to public office would never do anything not in our best interest. Show me that country where the rights and liberties of the people wrestle, placed on the sole chance that the rulers be good men without a loss of liberty. And power is the great evil with which we are contending against. In our present form of government, the Articles of Confederation, we have checks and balances on all forms. Where is your check on your judiciary? If you do not put a check on your judiciary, I predict that one day you will live under judicial tyranny. And under this new set of laws, you will find two sets of tax gatherers. Under the watchful eyes of the state's legislatures, we do all we can to prevent the commissioners from sucking your money out of you. So if we can hardly keep our eyes on a set of tax gatherers here, how are we going to set up another set of tax gatherers in Philadelphia? Under this new measure, they will come into your house, measure and meet and tax out your substance. But my greatest fear about this document is where is your right to bear arms? Your arms are going to be in the hands of Congress, who may or may not decide to arm you. What resistance could you do against the army? It would be futile. I predict if this measure passes, there will not be one musket left in the state of Virginia. You read about a riot act in a country which is considered one of the freest in the world, but where its citizenry fear to gather in large numbers by being shot by a hired soldiery. I fear we may one day see that act in America. Now, I said that in 5 minutes. Can you imagine what I said in the other 4.5 hours? I'm going to give you two biblical reasons for the Second Amendment. The first one is when a strong man, fully armed, guards his own homestead, his possessions are undisturbed. That's Luke 11:21. And the last thing Jesus Christ says to the disciples in the Garden of Gethsemane, which verses 22, chapter 22, 35, 36, 38. When I sent you out into the world, did you lack for anything? No, Lord, nothing. But let he who has a purse and also a bag, let him take it along. And he who has no sword, let him sell his purse and buy one. I literally could stand all day and give you here quotes from the Founding Fathers about the Second Amendment, but I thought I would share a few with you. It is a great object that all men be armed. Happy minute. The Supreme Being invested man with an inviolable right to personal liberty and personal safety, Alexander Hamilton. The Constitution should never be construed to prevent the people of the United States from bearing their own arms. Samuel.
Yeah. Give us beer.
To preserve liberty, it's essential that the whole body of the people always possess arms and taught alike, especially when young, how to use them. Richard Henry Lee. A government that does not trust its citizens to keep and bear arms is itself unworthy of trust. James Madison.
Yeah! Woo!
And the last, George Washington's, a free people ought to be armed. No man should hesitate a moment to use arms in defense. Now, George Mason, listen to this one. When the resolution of enslaving America was formed in Great Britain, the British Parliament was advised to disarm them, but that they should not do it openly, but to weaken them and let it sink in gradually. Now, I'll close. Thomas Jefferson. What country can preserve its liberties if its rulers are not warned from time to time that this people preserve the spirit of resistance? Let them take arms.
Yeah.
God bless you, and God please bless the Republic of the United States of America.